You're listening to the oneofus.net podcast network.
Something's coming.
Stand by. Hold on to your hats. Here we go.
Welcome to the Screamcast, episode 131. I am Sean DeRager, and with me is Brad Henderson.
Aw, shit.
Joining us as well is the illustrious BJ Colangelo.
Oh, hello there.
Welcome back to the show.
I'm glad to be back. I've missed you guys so much.
Today we are talking about Vinegar Syndrome and their multiple packages. So they're... Where are we at?
Packages.
Their March package, February, and I think even the January. Anyway, the last few months.
There's a lot of package.
This is the first Vinegar Syndrome of the... Yeah, it's the first Vinegar Syndrome episode of the year for us.
Oh my god, it's already April. We're slacking so bad.
I know. But yeah, so we were talking about a handful of their titles. We're going to skip all of our normal segments and kind of jump right into all of these.
So dedicated.
Yeah. You can follow us over on Twitter at Scream_cast. Of course, you can go to thescreamcast.com, follow all of our social links there.
Or frisky.
And while you're listening, if you feel led by the Holy Spirit, you can sign up and become a patron.
You gotta sex people up, man. You undersell this stuff. You need to sex them up.
I was trying the preacher vibe. If you feel it in your loins.
See, that was your first mistake, because statistics show that we are the most godless generation currently. So
yes.
I want to change your angle there.
If you're interested in religion or non-religion or anything like that, I have another podcast called the AXPX podcast. Give that a listen over at theaxpx.com. Speaking of godless generation. Coming soon is a episode on the religion and philosophy of Star Trek. If you're super nerdy, get ready. It's going to get nerdy.
I can hear all of the, well, actually, comments doing already.
The Vulcans, actually, they're not religious. They are just based on science and reason.
And then all you can hear in the background is just... Get out of here.
Anyway, all right. Back to Vinegar Syndrome, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm opening up water.
Water? Jesus.
Keep yourself hydrated, man. If it makes you feel any better. I'm drinking a Steel Reserve Alloy Series spiked watermelon.
Yeah.
It was very cheap at the bodega down the street, but it looks like it may be part battery acid.
But does it taste like battery acid?
We'll find out. It tastes like Four Loko, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. That's what I got going on.
Well, we had Taco Tuesday here at my place, a family and their kids over, and so I had a couple Captain Morgan Cokes. So I'm kind of coming off that because I don't sleep very good.
Captain Morgan Cokes instead of a rum and Coke.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Well, Captain Morgan's a spice rum, a little bit different than just straight rum. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god!
You need to.
I want to take you bar hopping and just hear you go up to a bartender and go, yeah, I'll have a Captain Morgan Coke. Not even a Captain and Coke. A Captain Morgan.
No, if I'm at a bar, I'll say Captain and Coke, please.
There you go.
With a lime.
Take the dad off for a little bit.
Bacardi Limon and Coke, please, with a lime. Thanks, sir. If I get a Doers on the Rocks, that'd be fantastic.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
All right. Anyway, here we go. Let's jump.
This is getting embarrassing. I'm so far throughout the entirety of this episode, and it's only been 5 minutes. I'm like dangerously uncomfortable.
Why?
I need to know the level of like what determines dangerous uncomfortability. Like, where does that line begin?
I'm sitting here and I feel drops of water on my legs, and I'm like looking up, like, oh, where's it coming from? And I realize it's just coming from my armpits.
Oh my god! Did you run a marathon before you recorded this podcast, or are you just sweating for existing?
I am just sweating right now. Profusely.
Is your air conditioner broken?
No,
Oh my God.
It's this fucking conversation and podcast right now. So far, we talked about Captain Rum and Cokes and Klingon fucking religion.
I almost just spit out my water just now.
So,
all right, let's get right into this. Let's get right into this.
Audiences.
Look, there's other podcasts that are way more organized than us, okay? You want something more organized, go listen to those people who are funded by goddamn freaking Blumhouse, okay? We're not funded by a major studio, all right? So everyone just relax.
I mean, they're not either, but that's...
Well, it says Blumhouse Presents. I'm just, I'm not jealous or anything.
That's not how that works, son.
Use their offices and something.
Oh my god, now we're just turning into a
stuff.
Even if we had an office, we couldn't do this because we're in three different states. Can we
restart the show? Is that possible?
No.
Yeah, we can start.
Do you want to restart the show?
No, this is hilarious.
This is really fun. I'm having a great time.
All right. Let's
Shut
jump
your
right
mouth
into
over
this,
there, sweaty
everybody.
Betty. Let's go.
Listen, Brad, you just go back online and piss off some movie blogs, okay?
Also, while I have you on air, fuck you guys for those 20 notifications on my Twitter today arguing about movies.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah,
I just got wrapped into that.
You guys always start and riff-raff on the Twitter through the Screamcast Twitter page, so then I get linked in, and then I come back from work and I walk into an explosion.
Yeah, I apologize for all the apologizing you need to do on our behalf. Like,
That's
legit.
Like ironic gif it away. That's my attempt at ending confrontation.
Which is great. Well, after a little bit of a break, Josh Obershaw joins us with the news. What's up, man?
Oh, it's so good to be back. I missed everybody. How are you, Sean?
I know you get used to doing this stuff, and then you have like a break, and then you come back. You come back, and it feels good. It feels good to be back in the swing of things.
Totally, especially since we've got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to catch up on.
Well, cool. What do we got?
Well, anybody out there who's a little impatient, doesn't really want to wait for Synapse to put out their Blu-ray of Suspiria, there's a company called 84 Entertainment, and they've got you covered. They're putting out a 40th anniversary leather book edition of Suspiria. And this is going to be coming out... Oh, I did have the date for this, but I can't seem to find it. Give me a second. Pretty damn soon. May 15th. And if you want to take a look at all the bonus features for this, you can go on the Screamcast, our website, and be able to check it out, because there's a lot. And the thing just looks so damn beautiful. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The thing is, though, like, Synapse is doing such a great job on the restoration. Like, they put out some screen caps, and I'm gonna wait for Synapse, but the leather bound book idea of packaging is just, it's so cool, but so expensive.
Yeah, that is true. That's one of the things that's kept me away from this particular set. Plus, I don't even know if this is a region free. I believe it is, but I got an older Blu-ray player and it is region A, so I don't really want to fork over that much cash for something that might potentially not work. You know what I mean?
But if you have the expendable funds, go for it.
True, by all means.
But yeah, I'm going to wait for the Synapse one.
So yeah, Suspiria 3-disc set from 84 Entertainment. That comes out on May 15th. But I'm going to hold out for the Synapse because they've been putting a lot into this. And obviously, it's going to come out this year to celebrate the 40th anniversary. It has me jazzed up already. Next up, we got a little bit of a sneak preview at the May package from our sponsors over at Vinegar Syndrome. They're going to be putting out 1980s The Hearse and a comedy called Malibu High. So I figured those are going to be like the two major releases for that month. And no other details to report on that just yet. But I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing something from that soon. And then we'll find out what else is going to be coming out in that package. But the release date is going to be May 30th. Moving along to Blue Underground. We have a release date for their Blu-ray of Deathline, which is also known as Raw Meat. And there's going to be a bunch of stuff on that one. We got commentaries and interviews with the co-writer and director and various cast members. We've got movie trailers, one of which is with the title Deathline, but another one with the title Raw Meat. We got TV spots and a booklet with writings by Michael Gingold and Christopher Gullo. So June 27th for Raw Meat. And also they've got a May 30th release date for the Fu Manchu double feature. Both of these movies, which star Christopher Lee, they've been put out on DVD by Blue Underground before, but they're going to be a Blu-ray double feature. So that comes out on May 30th. And also they've got a couple of movies coming out directed by Dick Moss. They already announced Amsterdam and The Lift, but they're also going to be putting out his remake of The Lift, which is called Down, and it's also known as The Shaft. That one has Naomi Watts in it. It's from 2001. And there's no release date. There's no release date on that yet, but we'll let you know when it comes out. That's it for Blue Underground. Okay, next up from Mill Creek. I know they don't have a lot as far as like bonus features is concerned, if any, but they've got some fun stuff coming out in May. First off, on May 2nd, they're going to be releasing the movie Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to this one. This one was a childhood favorite, and it was also my first Molly Ringwald movie too. Peter Strauss is in it, Michael Ironside. Fun stuff. That one's May 2nd. And on May 16th, they've got what is called the Payback Triple Feature Collection. This is 3 movies: Blind Fury, Silent Rage, and a movie from 1975 called White Line Fever, and that one stars Jan Michael Vincent. But Silent Rage, that's a Chuck Norris movie that's been getting a lot more attention these days. I've never seen it, but I'm definitely going to be I'm willing to check this out. Especially Mill Creek's prices are pretty good. Next up, from Magnolia, they have a release date of May 23rd for the movie XX, the anthology film. That one will be out on Blu-ray May 23rd. What else have I got? Oh yeah, there's going to be a Tremors 6. It's filming in South Africa right now.
Oh no.
And the Blu-ray is going to come out in 2018. Still a ways off, but more Tremors. More Michael Gross. Next up, we're moving on to Scorpion releasing. They've got a couple of coming out in the few months. For the spring, they've got Aloha, Bobby, and Rose. This one stars Paul Lamet with an early role for Edward James Olmos. It's got Elton John, Bob Dylan, and ELP on the soundtrack. And the other movie they got coming out, this time for the summer, is called Conduct Unbecoming. This one stars Michael York, Sir Richard Attenborough, Stacy Keach, and Christopher Plummer. That's going to be a 2017 HD scan, and it has interviews with Stacy Keach and star James Faulkner. And finally, from Scream Factory. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but this June 20th to be precise, they will be releasing the Paul Naschy Collection. 5 films: Vengeance of the Zombies, Horror Rises from the Tomb, Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, Night of the Werewolf, and Human Beasts. And if you want to check out all the bonus features for this one, you can go to the Screamcast. We have them listed for you.
Hell yes. I'm happy to see, Scream Factory kind of diving into things like this. Like, this is, as a horror fan, like, it's fun to have, good releases of, like, The Thing and Carrie, but, I mean, it's fun to discover kind of these forgotten gems, and that set, man, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to discover.
It is. I plan on that being Paul Naschy 101 for myself, because I've only seen one film of his. It's called Curse of the Devil. It's a werewolf movie that he was in, and it was one that Anchor Bay put out on DVD way, way back in the day. That was one I found for $4 at a Rite Aid. So that was my introduction to Paul Naschy.
Very nice.
Oh, and one more Scream Factory tidbit. Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2 are getting Blu-ray releases. Yay, Teen Wolf.
Yeah, man.
Teen Wolf 2, not so much. I don't remember liking that one.
Yeah, it was more of the same. But I think this is going to be the first Blu-ray release for Teen Wolf, because I have the DVD that my wife and I break out almost every Halloween. Like, every October we'll watch it.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Teen Wolf. I remember seeing the Saturday morning cartoon. There was actually a Saturday morning cartoon of Teen Wolf in the 80s.
It was great. Now, this will be fun. I'm excited to see what they pull out with the special features. I'm hoping they treat this one right. And the double feature is fun, but I could, who cares about Teen Wolf 2? But it's early Jason Bateman, so that'll be fun to kind of revisit. And if they get some really good interviews with that, just like with RoboCop 2 and 3, they kind of saved those releases by really adding some great special features to those. But I'm still waiting to find those on sale. I'm not going to spend $20 on those two, but a mediocre to bad movie, especially from the 80s, can be saved with some good retrospectives, for sure.
Those are all great points, by the way. And I should also point out, this isn't a double feature. Both of these movies are getting their own separate collector's editions. So just like with RoboCop 3, they're going all out with Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's something to look forward to this summer.
Very nice.
Which is kind of an odd timing, because you would think this would be a great back-to-school release. You know what I mean? Like August. Or hell, even September.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, Sean, that's all the news I got for you.
All right, man.
For being away for a month, I figure we've had more to talk about.
I know. Yeah. I think they're ramping up. I think we're going to get a lot of announcements here coming into summer and stuff. So, because they still got to plan out, the fall and Halloween, October and stuff. So we're gonna get some good announcements here from here on out, because they're they're going to ramp up for that time of year. All right, Josh. Well, thanks, man. We will talk to you next time.
Thanks. It's great to be back, and I will talk to you all next time.
All right, let's jump right into this. So Vinegar Syndrome has had a pretty kick-ass year so far in 2017. Can we all agree on that?
I concur.
Okay.
I agree wholeheartedly.
All right. So the first film we are going to talk about, Don't Answer the Phone, starring the amazing and very sweaty Nicholas Worth.
Run if you must.
Hello, operator. It's an emergency. Can you help me?
Hide if you can. Scream if you are able.
Who's there?
But above all, if you are alone. Don't answer the phone.
1980, directed by Robert Hammer, written by Michael Castle and Robert Hammer, and it's about a very disturbed Vietnam vet who stalks women and kills them, and follows the detectives that are trying to track him down.
Sounds like my next door neighbor. He's a pretty disturbed Nam vet.
If it was the Nicholas Worth, the Kirk, what is his name, Kirk Smith or something, I would feel really, really bad for you. Because this guy gives me the fucking creeps. He always has. Like, I've watched Don't Answer the Phone probably more times than I should in life. I remember starting off with one of those. It's one of the Mill Creek, because Mill Creek did all the Crown titles, and I saw it on there, and it was I didn't know until the Blu-ray of Scorpion releasing came out, because I picked that up, and then I realized, oh my gosh, this movie's more extreme than I thought, because it's an uncut version, and that's what this is too. So I mean, yeah, it definitely looks better, but man, I tell you, like, this dude is kind of like, I mean, Nicholas Worth is playing, like, honestly, this is probably his best role and most iconic role, other than being in Darkman for, just a little bit. But, I mean, he's channeling, like, every fucking serial killer in the book, it feels like. He is going above and beyond. I mean, there's parts of the film that, like, kind of remind me of, like, Taxi Driver, and there's parts of the film that reminds me of, like, listening to kind of, and watching, kind of, the courtroom stuff with, in the hearings with serial killers, and just hearing how he speaks, and I don't know, it's just like, I want to say that he did some, like, either he's really a serial killer in real life and he's like the Zodiac, or he's just, like, really good at, researching what he's supposed to do and then just completely channeling all that and giving it all on screen. And in the sleaziest way possible, too. Because this movie makes me feel hot and sweaty and sexy. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but
this is one that I did not get to see, but I'm a big fan of being hot and sweaty and sexy, so now I feel like I need it.
Well, I was
coming for you on Saturday for this.
I was kind of hoping that you would see it, because I had a question, because I know, like, this is my take, but I'm also a dude, is that the film has an extremely misogynistic character. Because, I mean, most of our, killings and brutality, attacking women and stripping them down and killing them, obviously there's that, serial killers are misogynistic. That's fine. But there's something with the film where he's very misogynistic, but the film isn't.
Yeah, no, that's a very real thing. Like, you can have misogynist characters, and a film is not inherently misogynist because people are making that decision. That's like saying because, there are misogynist people in the world, that, like, the world is inherently misogynist, which, depending on where you are, is true, but not always.
I mean, that's mostly a question I had for you, is that, am I right? Because, I mean, like I said, I'm also a dude, so I could be clearly missing something.
Right.
But I think I've pinpointed enough on the show that I consider certain films, like even like a lot of Italian films, just cross the line a lot. And they just,
absolutely.
They're being mean for mean's sake. And this film is super brutal. There are some times where it's just uncomfortable, but I don't know if it ever crosses the line. And I think it's because they drop in so much bumbling comedy at times.
Well, yeah, they drop in this bumbling comedy with the LAPD detectives, so there's that which lightens it up, but that's almost kind of true because you know that in these investigations and stuff, like they're not serious all the time. You're going to have
you can't be, or you'll lose your shit.
This lighthearted office banter. But then they also have this character, Dr. Lindsay Gale, played by Flo Lawrence. I guess her last name is Lawrence now, was Flo Garish back then. But she's a smart psychiatrist. Like, she's a smart woman character. So it's not the lead woman character in the film is not some, hot to trot kind of bimbo or whatever. She's actually super smart. She has this radio show, kind of like an Ask Dr. Laura or whatever type radio show. And so I think she grounds the film into, so the players are very clear. You got the bumbling cops. You have her, who's the smart psychiatrist, and then you have Nicholas Wirth's character, who's the misogynist killer. So I think all that working together, keeps this film from being misogynist, but it still has that level of misogyny from the killer, which is supposed to make us feel uncomfortable.
And it does. And, and he's doing, like, there's a couple lines where I think he falls a little flat, but towards the end of the film, when the sweat is just pouring off his face and he's like screaming and the spit is flying, he's like, I feel that's so real. Like, there's a couple parts in the film where it's like, shit, man, this guy is pretty believable. And when he comes out and he's like, he's got his jeans on, but they're like way, way up, like, almost like mid-belly, like on top. Like, whenever pants are above a belly button, that really bothers me because I'm feeling that, like, the inside of your pants, I have a thing with my belly button, like, I don't like things near it. So, like, when I see, like, pants, like, on top of a belly button, I feel like the part of the, like, button is going to get in your belly button, and it really bothers me. But anyways, he's got his pants so high up, and then, he's got, like, a can of beer. And, I mean, this dude, he's a big dude. He's Nicholas Wirth is not, like, when he got a little bit older, he got a little chubby. But in this, like, he's still, like, he's very meaty.
Yeah, he was powerlifting at the time, he said in an interview.
Well, he could, like, he looks like he could take anybody down.
No, he picks up one of the detectives over his head and tosses him across the room.
There's a part where he just kind of gives this monologue. He's like, you're not talking to him. Obviously, he's probably talking to his, his dad. But he's like just walking around the living room with a can of beer and just like getting amped up and saying, are you proud of me now? Do I measure up? And I was like, oh my God, he has like this kind of like little bit of a mental breakdown. And he just has this like really long monologue that's like, it gives so much insight to the character of like kind of how crazy he is and kind of like how like you just this big force behind him that's driving him to do all of this. And I don't know, like, I feel that if they didn't go the route of kind of the comedy aspect, this would have been more kind of scary.
Yeah.
If they didn't fuck around with the, because some of the music is great. The soundtrack is really, really great. But when they show the cops, they had this kind of like weird jazz synthesizer score.
Yeah.
And it's just, it feels so off. Like some of the other stuff that I think I tweeted about it the other night because I rewatched it again, is that it feels like Brad Fiedel, like if no one knows his name, he's like the dude that did the Terminator soundtracks. But I'm talking about like first Terminator, like he's dropping like a shit ton of acid and just going ballistic on a keyboard. That's kind of what Don't Answer the Phone sounds like. But then all of a sudden, like you're really digging the soundtrack. And then it jumps into this kind of jazzercise bullshit, like when it shows the cops, and then it just makes the cops feel silly and look silly. I don't know.
It feels like the cops are almost written by someone else.
Yeah.
Because there's a scene where like they find his studio and Yeah, and one of the cops goes, "There's enough porno pictures here to sink a battleship."
What?
Which is ridiculous.
All right, yeah, I officially am buying this movie this weekend. I absolutely have to see this.
One thing though, I feel like the one thing that dates this movie is like all of this could have been solved if they just would have run some prints, because he never wears gloves. And if they had DNA evidence and fingerprinting, would have nailed this guy.
I mean, he grabs the girls, but when he actually strangles them, he used like that pantyhose and that coin.
Yeah, but he's touching everything in the room. Like, he's not being careful.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
The dude's hands are all over everything. And then they say, like, you know, they do find bodily fluids too. So it's like, you know, DNA evidence would have put him away for sure, but it wasn't around yet. But I don't know.
Yeah. And just... There's a lot of also like you said, there's so many like really corny and silly lines of dialogue. Like at the end of the film, obviously spoiler free, but if you remember what the cop says, the final line of the movie, and I was like, wait, is the movie over? Like, is that the last line that in the script it said? Like, I mean, I don't really want to say it because it kind of gives a little bit away.
Well, then it goes to just dead silence.
Yeah, and it just ends. I'm like, okay.
There's no music over the credits.
Like, I really love this movie, but like, it's just there's like that one line, and then it just ends abruptly, and I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, even though I've seen it like 4 or 5, like I would say I've seen it maybe three or 4 times. It's just like I always forget that the ending it just ends. And I don't get it. But anyways, I mean, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no,
I highly recommend it.
It is worth it for, no pun intended, Nicholas Worth's performance. Because he is just incredible in it. Like, all the way through. This is the most compelling I think I've ever seen him. And he's always one of those guys you love to see as a henchman in a film, or he always shows up in these action films or, you know, canon films, and he's ended up in so many films, but I've never ever seen him like this, and it's a sight to behold. Like, it's worth watching. Trying to see if I have any other. I mean, I don't know. Just like he's just like intensely doing his weights, you know, with his mom jeans and no shirt.
Mom jeans.
I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Like, it's worth it for him. Yeah, for sure there's some tonal issues, but for me, I didn't really mind the tonal issues because it kind of took away from the brutality and stuff. Because when I was getting ready to sit down to watch this, I was just like not in the mood for just a, hit me over the head with a machete or a sledgehammer, just brutal and just super serious film, which is what I thought it was going to be. You know, like a film like the film like Maniac is fantastic. I wasn't really in the mood for that sort of film, but I felt this was kind of well rounded. I thought the detective stuff was, it gives you a little bit of breathing room, and then once he enters the frame, shit's about to go down, and I don't know. There's some stuff. There's some gems in this film though worth checking out on your own. I don't want to spoil anything at all. But BG, let me just say this: if somebody showed up at your house and said, "Oh, so and so sent me over to photograph you," and you knew that was not the case, or that could not be the case, would you still invite that person in the room, in the house?
Sorry, they're not here. Bye. And then close the door in their face. And then call the cops and say, there's a creepy fucking dude trying to take my picture outside.
Yeah.
Please get him. This is what he looks like. Apparently mom jeans.
Yes. Well, it's just crazy how times are so different now because of cell phones. Like, he asks to come in and use her phone, so he can call her manager to sort out the double booking or whatever, pretend.
I would have straight up been like, I'm so sorry. I recently escaped an Amish cult, and phones are the one thing from, the Americans, or the English as they call them. I'm sorry, this is the one thing of the English that I have not been able to adjust yet. So I don't have a phone. Sucks to suck. Try the gas station.
Totally.
Fuck yourself. Like, that's what would happen.
He's surprisingly, like, is light on his feet, too. Like, he's a big dude, but when he's, sneaking up, especially in the first scene when he's sneaking up on that woman who's on the phone, it's that reveal is pretty chilling.
There's a few things in the movie. Like, there's that hot wax scene that's pretty tough to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a few things in the film where, like, you kind of cringe when he's attacking, because it feels like, I mean, the actresses are doing great too, because they're totally, like, making this believable, which honestly is probably fucking scary when Nicholas Worth in his mom jeans is holding you down and screaming and pouring hot wax.
No, I know.
Like, I would be scared too, so it's probably like a legit reaction. Who knows? But yeah, no, I agree. I think anybody that likes sleazy, kind of 70s and 80s, kind of cop murder serial killer stuff, this is totally right up your alley.
I'm super into this already, just from your descriptions.
All right, then what else we got?
All right. Anyway, I was gonna say the disc is great. There's a couple of great interviews
doing the whole package
on there to check out, and it looks fantastic. Yeah. Next up, we're gonna dive into the world of 70s actor Peter Carpenter.
This is what I am, and what I'll always.
And we're gonna talk about Blood Mania first, and then Point of Terror. This is a limited edition double feature that they put out. 2 terrifying super shockers that will rip the screams right out of your throat.
Whoa. That's a bold claim.
I don't think these films are that scary. So anyway, well, first we'll talk about Blood Mania.
Blood Mania.
From 1970. Let me pull up my notes because I had some interesting notes. One of the only notes I have on here is Blood Mania is like a porno that keeps getting interrupted.
No.
The first half, anyway. No, what I mean is like the first half, at least the first half, it's always him and his girlfriend or his wife or whoever. They're about to get it on. Things are getting serious, and then someone comes in and interrupts them. This happens like constantly for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and it gets really humorous because it's exactly like, the porno scene's about to happen and it does not.
Wow.
Which is pretty comical to me. But then, sexy time does happen later on. But I, for a while, I was like, what is going on here? It's like the 40-year-old virgin stuff with you just can't get a break. Nothing's working out.
I'm kind of curious if you understand towards the end of the film of what the twist of the film is.
I think I do. I remember I watched it, but I don't know if I paid that much attention.
Well,
because this was a tough movie to get through, in my opinion.
This movie's great.
Peter Carpenter is hilarious to me as this, the actor in particular.
Well, I'll say for the audience that are hardcore listeners and know things, we have a little bit of Kay Parker and Taboo show up in this film later on, and that's one of the reasons why it's so weird in the beginning. It was because there's a little secret in the film.
Well, okay, I haven't watched Taboo, so I do not know.
So, but anyways,
so Brad, what's the plot of Blood Mania? Because I'll ruin it. I'll totally ruin it. Because I did not, as a whole, did not like this film.
Well, I would rather talk about the film rather than the plot, because the plot is a little boring. But I think to spice it up, because telling the plot of this movie, I really think you're going to turn people away. This movie is a erotic type of thriller mixed in with some horror elements. It is basically a soap opera that's very, very sleazy with some nightmarish and dreamlike sequences. It's very oddly decorated. It's very colorful, like nothing fucking matches. And I think it's part of just it being so unsettling. It's hard to tell, like, because I mean, someone's like wearing like a girl's wearing like a purple dress. One of the guys is wearing a red like jacket. They're sitting on a yellow chair with green carpet, with like fucking black curtains in the back, with this weird like hazy color palette over everything. So when you're sitting there watching it, you feel like you're almost like maybe watching a stage, like a bad stage play, like where they just randomly grab things that the only things they could get together, like nothing matches, but it also looks so good. This is the same thing, is that it's lit very, very well. Aside from maybe a couple scenes here and there, but there's also like weird kind of giallo string music that's playing that makes it more kind of nightmarish through and through. And there's a lot of weird, like, I wouldn't want to say kind of Italian horror movie shots when dead bodies and killers pop up. I don't know. I really like Blood Mania because it's just so out there. The plot is just very bland and silly.
Yeah, you nailed it when you said soap opera for sure.
Yeah, it's very like it's kind of what you feel like you're watching, but it's how they kind of go about everything. They just amplify. Kind of the dialogue's completely out of place. The characters are all over the top. But I mean, this film is mostly great because of its setting and how it looks, and the fucking, like, just look at the fucking couches and furniture in this movie. Like, I want them. Like, I want to be able to go back, like, in the 60s and 70s and buy, like, when they were trying to do that futuristic furniture shit. Like, I mean, it looks something like you would see, like, on a spaceship, but, people, like, had this in their homes, and that's kind of what this is. But anyways, I really like Blood Mania because it is so weird and out there. And Peter Carpenter, I mean, he's in this in Point of Terror, and this guy is totally in love with himself. And it's hard to believe that Peter Carpenter didn't go on to do more things. And I mean, that's pretty much Blood Mania, and that would be, a good segue into Point of Terror, because Peter Carpenter didn't have very many movies. I would say just maybe a handful. I would say maybe under 10 films that he's done in his life. I don't know how many, but I know that he just kind of stopped making movies. And it's hard for me to believe that and just know that he maybe just walked away, because this guy is so in love with himself. He's kind of like the White Dolomite in a way, where Rudy Ray Moore is Rudy May's Moore's biggest fan. Like, Peter Carpenter thinks he's hot shit. He thinks he's fucking Tom Jones or some shit. Like, he's doing some lounge singing in fucking Point of Terror. The opening of Point of Terror, if you're not pulled in by his opening dance routine sequence while the credits are rolling, like, then just turn it off and give up, because that's how the whole movie is. It is just focused on him.
Well, once this started, I knew, I was like, this is going to be better than Blood Mania.
See, and that's the thing, is I don't think it is. I think it's more, I think the dialogue's a little crazier.
Just entertainment value because of the lounge thing.
It's literally another soap opera being told, but definitely toned down a lot. and mainly focusing on Peter Carpenter's dance moves and his lounge singing. And there's how many breakdowns are like how many sequences does he just sing? Like 4? And it's like and it's whole songs.
Dude, I was gonna start tallying. They don't just do half a song.
He performs the whole entire thing. But, you know, the thing is that Peter Carpenter's obviously enjoying himself. He's all about it. I was looking at the thing. He co-wrote the movie. He produced it. He stars in it. He's wanting to be Tom Jones. And I want to know why he quit. Like, where did he go? Like, it seems like he was so in love with what he was doing. The only thing I can think about is if these films came out and then no one talked about them and they just bombed. And then he was just upset about it. I mean, that could be. But, you know, both of the films, they're, like, you look at the covers and you think you're going to get some type of, like, you know, weird science fiction, hammer horror, but you don't. They're both very, like, horror dramas. What do you really say horror? They're melodramas, you know?
There's not really much horror to these.
There's just a lot of soap opera. There's just some weird things that happen with the characters and shit like that. But for the most part, they're pretty tame. It's just they're super weird. That's the thing about both of these films is that it's a great pair to put them together because they're both bizarre and they're both bizarre in the same way of this odd-looking Peter Carpenter guy trying to be more than he actually is and just giving it 110%. Well, I mean, I appreciate his definitely enthusiasm for these roles, and he's very charismatic, and it's just that he doesn't belong in these movies. Like, he's playing a completely different level, because I don't think anybody else is enjoying themselves as much as he is.
Yeah. But, I may have some information on Peter Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
This is from, I don't know, some blog in 2016 where someone did some digging. And what it says here is there's absolutely little to no verifiable information available about Peter Carpenter's death.
Ooh.
IMDb lists him as having died from a massive cerebral hemorrhage in December of 1971.
Oh, shit. So that's right after Point of Terror.
Yeah, on the Point of Terror DVD from Scorpion, there's an added value segment entitled Remembering Peter Carpenter, in which his friend and acting teacher and co-star Leslie Sims vaguely recollects that he died of pneumonia sometime in the late 70s and early 80s. So there's like no concrete information on how or when he died, but that's all I got on the little bit of digging that I found.
No, and that's really sad because he's
sorry to bring it down, everybody.
Yeah, he's doing like that. Actually, does make me a little sad because he is giving it his all, and we don't have. You can tell that he's enjoying himself, and that's the reason why kind of Rudy Ray Moore works, is that he's legitimately enjoying himself. He might be annoying, he might be a little over the top, but you know, if you're watching a movie and you can tell, no matter how bad the movie is, how good the movie is, if you can tell that the people on screen are obviously having a good time, there's something about those films that kind of sit with you and make it worth it. And that's one of the main reasons why I like shot-on-video horror and dramas, is because those people aren't in it for the money. They're not in it to make a big break. They're friends of friends of friends making a movie on a fucking weekend. And it's more or less kind of like a party that's happening rather than actual movie making. And there's something about camaraderie and, you know, just getting together and making movies with your friends that's fun. And honestly, that's what Peter Carpenter's doing. Yes, these films have bigger budgets, obviously, but he's totally into what he's doing. And Point of Terror, you can totally see that. And that's the reason why you can sit back and have a good time and watch him dance and sing and just like, dude, this guy is fucking ridiculous. Like, this dude needs to sit down, but at the same time, you're like, no, he's the reason why this movie is so good, and we're sitting here watching it. And honestly, if you took Peter Carpenter out of the film and you put some mundane, good-looking actor in it, we wouldn't be talking about Blood Mania and Point of Terror right now. They would be probably shelved and not being looked up again because Peter Carpenter's the reason why these films were popular is because he is crazy. He's giving 100 and he's doing more than Nicholas Worth. He's giving 150%. Nicholas Worth only gave 110% on Don't Answer the Phone. Peter Carpenter's giving 150%. And
in Point of Terror, for sure.
Yeah,
yes.
Point of Terror. I mean, he's a little bit of a smaller, obviously smaller doses in Blood Mania, mainly because it's like 5 people are the leads in Blood Mania. But I mean, he's the one that has everything going for him in Point of Terror. But that does make me a little sad because I feel like we would have had more Peter Carpenter films. And we would have had a Peter Carpenter box set or something like that. So, anyways, it's sad.
There's probably I didn't get to watch the commentaries, listen to the commentaries or anything. I'm sure that he's mentioned because I know that there's a commentary with Leslie Sims, so I'm positive she probably would divulge more information in these commentaries. I didn't get a chance to listen to them yet, so I'm looking forward to checking those out because I'm sure we'll learn a lot more about him and possibly what happened. So let's keep things moving along, everybody.
What are we talking about next?
And let's jump into Slaughterhouse.
This little pig ran wee all the way home.
I can come back.
Something. Finally, I was like, we got to get to something BJ's seen.
Oh, thank you, God. I looked at our lineup and I went, I've seen most of these. Oh, we're covering the 3 I haven't seen all right in a row, right off.
Well, I figured we can get them out of the way and, No, Slaughterhouse from 1987, directed by Rick Rossler. And this was released before by 88 Films did a version of this, a UK Blu-ray, and now Vinegar Syndrome is releasing theirs.
Yeah, we only had a VHS copy, and then there was this bootleg company that came out called Vault of Horrors or something like that, and they released a few bootleg uncut movies. They did The Burning. They did, they're not legit at all, but they did Slaughterhouse, and it was called 1313 Horror or something like that, and Vault of Horror, and I remember paying $50 for this fucking DVD on eBay back in the day. Because that was a slasher film.
That was $50 well spent, wasn't it?
Yep. That's all I gotta say. I was fucking pissed as shit, and I haven't watched this movie since until it came out on Blu-ray.
I fell asleep within the first 20 minutes, and I forgot to finish it before we scheduled this podcast.
So am I the only one that has somewhat of an optimistic approach to this movie?
I would love to hear your approach to this film. I mean, I want to finish it. It's not fair for me to even talk about it because I haven't finished it, so I have really no opinion.
I was so mad watching this movie that I passed the point of anger, and then it turned into me laughing my ass off for being so mad. And then I was like, shit, I'm laughing really hard. I kind of like this. Fuck this movie. I don't want to like this, but I had a blast with it. Fucking Slaughterhouse. So let's just say that a 7-foot-tall guy that probably looks you in the eye way too long at a fast food restaurant worked at a slaughterhouse and was the star of a slasher film. That's your focal point. It's every guy who you intentionally avoid in public because you don't know what they're capable of. That's this guy. There's nothing about him that makes me think oh, he's probably a murderer. But part of me is like, he probably smells terrible and wants to like touch my earlobe or something super weird and out of control. And that's how I feel about our lead in Slaughterhouse.
I'm gonna touch people's earlobes now. See what happens.
God, like it's so impersonal and weird, and I hate it. Not like that strangers do that to me often.
I was about to say, have you had earlobes touched more than once by a stranger?
No.
And mainly one that looks like what's his name? Billy? I don't know. It's something stupid, isn't it?
Joe B. Barton, but his character is what?
Buddy. That's
Buddy Bacon.
Buddy Bacon. Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
And his dad is Lester Bacon. Lester and Buddy Bacon. God, it's so ridiculous. I also have like a really weird feeling about the mentally handicapped killer films of yesteryear. They make me personally really uncomfortable because it kind of perpetuates a narrative that people that have mental instability are, inherently dangerous, and that bothers me. And this one feels like really on the cusp of exploiting that idea. Like it's real close. Like it's not outright like he's dangerous because he's slow or whatever. I'm not going to say the R word. But it's almost there. It's like right on the cusp of being offensive to the point where like it makes me uncomfortable. But then it also like, it's weird because it's taking that, but it's also like trying to draw the parallel that you got with kind of the Sawyer family of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think is what they were chasing. I hope that's what they were chasing, unless they thought this was a completely unique fucking idea and they're wrong. But I don't know.
No, I think they were definitely going after that. I mean, there are many elements to film, the setting, the characters. I mean, all grouped together. I mean, yeah, they're definitely channeling Texas Chainsaw in this. It's just that they wanted to, I guess, make it more of a comedy. But honestly, I don't find this I don't even find how I would say this would be a comedy is the same thing as how trauma films are apparently comedies. I don't laugh.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I'm like, how much longer is this going to go? Like, this feels like something that would come out of the Trauma studio.
Well, I watched the one of the special features is kind of like a retrospective, not a retrospective, but it's like talking with the people who made it and like talking about the trials and tribulations of how they did everything, like more of a making of, but it was less of a making of and more of like, this is why we love what we did so much. And at one point they talk about how this was they wanted this to be the scariest, like most horrific thing, but we're going to balance that scariness with like slapstick comedy because otherwise people will be too scared. And the whole time I'm thinking like, but even the scary parts aren't scary, dude. Like you not only water down what should be scares, but I don't know, at the same time watching it, they all seem very proud of what they've done. And that lets me know, like, okay, then this just wasn't for me. Because clearly it's something that they love, that they're passionate about, that they feel really strongly about, like, what they've created. And if maybe they've just bought into their own hype, or they're sincerely that excited and think they did something good. And if they really think they did, then that means somebody else is going to agree with them. So it's just not for me.
Oh no, they definitely have a following with this film. I've heard a lot of people talk about this film through the years, and I agree with you. Like, when the film starts up, we have some pretty charismatic characters that, they're not your normal looking characters.
Yeah, they look like actual people.
Right. Like, it's, some of the guys are just normal looking. Some of the girls are just normal looking. There's one girl that has very strong different features that you normally wouldn't see.
She's a very handsome woman.
But, we have some captivating kids, but, I mean, we have a really kind of boring movie. We have a non-scary killer that we just can't help to laugh at when he snorts and acts like a pig.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
The beginning of the film, it does have kind of an eerie setting. It has a good setup, but once we show Buddy Bacon, that's such a dumb fucking name. I can't even.
Buddy Bacon.
For real. But once we see Buddy Bacon
Well,
in
and
the
like
first kill, it's like, oh, this is weird.
Well, and also our lead girl's name is Liz Borden. Come on!
I don't know if that's part of the slapstick or they're just trying to be clever. But I mean, maybe in the 80s people weren't. I don't know. I want to say they maybe didn't know who. Maybe the Lizzie Borden tour didn't exist then, and no one knew who she was. But still, I mean, and another thing is that really bothers me with the film is that. We have kind of this, we do have an eerie setup. We see the killer, we're like, okay, I've seen the movie before, so I kind of knew it was coming. But a first time watching this, I don't remember my first time watching it. I just remember being pissed off at the end. But it starts off, you're like, oh man, this is, okay, I could kind of see where this is going. And then we just hear some really bombastic circus music, and then we watch pigs get mutilated for... 5 minutes during the credits sequence. And I'm like...
It's really graphic.
What's the point?
It's like the opening of Cooties.
Yeah, but it's at least Cooties, we're just watching meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat meat and I will always eat meat. But there's also this sense of kind of I don't want to watch my meat get killed. And or exploited, with us, I mean, we try to do kind of the, more grass-fed, animal, when we buy meat, or if they're humanely killed.
Yeah, I want them to be, I want nice music to be on, and I want them to be, petted and given their favorite snack, and then when they least expect it, you just chop their head off.
Maybe give it a bath. Pigs and cows, I mean, they're bred to die. And, the same thing with chickens. I mean, a lot of these animals, they're bred to die. And they don't have very much time because, some of them are genetically enhanced and, all GMOs are put in them. So they only got a week living here. They're like a fucking beetle. I necessarily don't want to see that. I've watched those docs, I've watched those clips, and man, it just turns my stomach. And yeah, sometimes I'm like, man, I think I might want to give up on meat. And then I think about how good a steak tastes, and then I'm just like, nah. But I don't know. There's just something really off-putting when it's one of the reasons why I don't like Faces of Death. Is that I don't mind watching the fake shit. But when you go into a slaughterhouse or something, there's something about that. It's funny. I could watch slaughtering real people all day, but when it comes to animals, I can't do it. But it's just a really bad segue. It's a really bad credit sequences, and they're just playing circus. It sounds like fucking circus music or some shit.
Yeah.
And it just immediately I remember rewatching this just recently, and I was like, oh shit, I really do hate this movie. It does get a little bit better because we have some really great kid actors, and they're not your typical punks like they are in most films. You have a couple assholes, but for the most part, they're likable people.
Yeah, well, Sherry Lee, who plays Liz Borden, the whole purpose of her character is that she wants to be a director. And I think that's really kind of cool that right off the bat we're getting kind of a female director narrative pushed. That's cool.
Right. And this thing is, but we get there's so much Buddy Bacon and Lester Bacon thrown in. Yeah. And I'm just nah. So anyways, I don't know. I think there is a fan base for it.
Did you see the weirdo commercial they did? There's a commercial. I don't know if it was for a used car or something. It was in the special features, but Lester and Buddy Bacon, as their characters, did a car commercial or a non-smoking commercial or some bullshit, and it's the weirdest thing.
Oh wow! I need to check that out.
Talk about like limited audience.
Yeah, I think it was like a local commercial to wherever they made it.
Well, I mean, you say that, but how big was this movie when it came out?
I don't know. I was
look it up.
Not even close to being born yet. So
well, because here's the thing: is that we say like limited audience, but man, these films that maybe are kind of cult films today, they were, or maybe they we think that they didn't do great, or they were just smaller compared to like Halloween and Friday the 13th. Some of these films did quite well at the box office. I mean, don't forget we had like specialty things that you wouldn't expect from a horror film that would hit the like kind of mainstream market. It happens every once in a while. I'm curious.
It was given a limited release theatrically in the U.S. and it went to VHS pretty quickly. It's one of those that people probably started renting on VHS and boosted its popularity. But yeah, it has a following for sure. I remember when it was announced from 88 Films, people lost their shit, and people were really excited that it was coming out. So I don't know, either they just are looking for rare things and are just excited that something rare is coming out, or there really is a following. But I mean, to get like,
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with kind of those trauma films and everything. That there's a following for those. People like kind of the goofy horror, and that's what this is,
Yeah. All right.
So
let's move on.
Woo.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to a film that's not a sequel to Witchboard. Talking Kevin Tenney's Witchtrap.
A lot of these old houses had private chapels in the attic.
With an inverted cross?
Son of a bitch.
Mr. Vicente, are you a religious man?
Oh, I'm sorry. I never discuss religion on any day with a Y in it.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop for 1 second and ask a very important question.
Okay.
What in the actual fuck did I watch?
Witchtrap?
Yes.
Also known as The Presence.
Yeah, what?
It was also titled The Presence.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about Witchtrap, so let's get into it.
Some paranormal researchers are called in to basically investigate that there could be an evil satanic ghost witch living in there, basically.
They're trying to make it suitable for guests because we have to, de-ghost this place so that we can run a business.
I think de-ghost should be something that we catch on. That's about as good as Ryan Turk's Ghostroids. So I think I'm gonna just open up a business, plop a number out there, and just call it de-ghosting, and see how many calls I actually get.
So there's some actual like paranormal type people in there, and then there's like some other people. I can't remember what they were for. Like Linnea Quigley her character is not like a paranormal researcher. She's like just kind of along for the ride.
No, she's a videographer.
The videographer, that's right. Okay. Yeah. It's all coming back to me.
Sure.
I honestly could not tell you what happens in this movie past that, because within the first 10 minutes, I must have looked over at Zach 100 times and went, I have no idea what is happening or why it's happening, and I'm very impatient.
There's a Satanist, and he had a satanic altar in the house, and he's haunting that house because he has a satanic altar and something's hidden in the walls or somewhere. Stop. He's just bad.
So, God, you just ran, like, are you not into this? I don't understand. So, anyways, Witchtrap is.
I had a lot of fun with Witchtrap. John Cho is fantastic in it.
I had no fun. I'm glad someone did. I was frustrated.
No one got my John Cho joke. Damn it.
They hire cops to protect these de-ghosters, to go in and use a Ghostbuster machine, a Ghostbuster trap, in order to trap the ghost on a mantle, where his ashes are. Because that's where they set up the Ghostbusters trap, right? like
I
pull
want
him
you to
in.
know that I'm currently rolling my eyes so hard that I might turn into Gina Davis in Beetlejuice, and it's going to pop out my mouth.
But I mean, yeah, we have the thing is that I'm with Sean. The film is fun just because of how over the top
It's
every single person
ridiculous.
is. Like,
Everything's at an 11.
like the cop, they just completely shit on one another through the entire movie, and then the cops shit on the fucking de-ghosters.
The goats. The de-ghosts.
But yes, no. My only issue with the film is that it kind of just builds all this shit up, and then it's just like, nah. We have the Linnea Quigley kill. That's
fantastic.
Fun. And then the ending,
A+.
The ending's a lot of fun with all the, gore and shit like that. But for the most part, the movie's pretty tame. Like, I feel that this movie should have been a fucking bloodbath. We should have had at least 3 more deghosters, at least 2 more cops, and had a little bit higher body count.
Well, it's Kevin Tenney. I was expecting a little more on that level. There is a great head explosion, though. Like one of the best.
Oh,
I've seen.
I forgot about the head explosion. Yeah. But yes, there are some like great things about the film. But I mean, I think knowing kind of Kevin Tenney's run, and I will stand by this movie. And even Kevin Tenney called bullshit on, like, no shit. He called bullshit on me one time because I praised Pinocchio's Revenge. And he's like, you're just shitting around. And I was like, no, man. I'm like legitimately, I really like Pinocchio's Revenge. I think it's creepy. It's got some great special effects. Like, I'm on board. No, it's not great or anything, but that movie's a lot of fun, and it's a lot better than most of the 90s stuff that we got, and even in the late 80s. But honestly, like, from Pinocchio's Revenge to Night of the Demons to Witchboard, I mean, Witchtrap is not a sequel to Witchboard.
I said that.
No, I know, but they reiterate that countless times. I think it's on the front and the back of the box.
It's on the disc itself.
Well, I mean, I think they're just channeling what the VHS did because it was all over the tape. Because I have the tape too. That's what.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems pretty tame for Kevin Tenney, and it seems like a setup for a bloodbath. Kind of like the same thing with Night of the Demons. Like, you're going to get a high body count. It's going to be ridiculous. But for some reason, it seems a little too tame. We have fun characters, but when the characters meet their demise, a couple of them are good, but most of them are just really bland. And I don't know, I think I'm just expecting more. And this is my, I don't know, maybe second or third time watching Witchtrap. This is something I kind of grew up on. I don't know. It gets a little bit better on rewatches, but for the most part, I don't know. Like, I think because I know Kevin Tenney's filmography, I think if I went in this blind, not knowing who Kevin Tenney was or have any preconceived notions, I probably would enjoy it a little bit more because I think this is probably the last film that I saw in Kevin Tenney's filmography. So yeah, I guess it's a little disappointing. But if you go in blind, the film's probably not that bad. It is not that bad, but I'm saying you might enjoy it a little bit more than, myself or Sean or BJ, if that matter, because Sean sounds like he might jizz on it.
I had fun with it, but did nobody think that one of the cops looked just like John Cho? Am I the only person?
Oh, so that's not his name? I don't know who John Cho is.
He's Harold and Kumar.
Oh.
I didn't think he looks like John Cho at all, so that's why I didn't get your joke.
Dude,
no, he's more Brandon Lee than John Cho.
He looks just like him.
No, he's more Brandon Lee than John Cho.
I'm looking at a picture of John, well, a cross between, but, in certain sequences, I was like, that guy looks like John Cho. I don't know.
I thought that was his...
That's just me, I guess. But I'm looking at pictures right now, back, like, side by side, and I'm like, the dude's John Cho.
Doing some side-by-sides?
All right, fine, whatever. Horrible joke.
You can put it on the Instagram. Make everybody vote on it. Be like, does this dude look like John Cho?
Okay, I might do that. We'll see. And he has a great line. He says, "Say goodnight, Gracie."
a great line.
I wrote it down because it was so out there and stupid. I don't know why I would even say that to a ghost, sorcerer, ghost, satanic ghost man.
Wow.
Because obviously his name is not Gracie.
There's some anger in here. No, there's here's the thing: is that the Brandon Cho, his character all the time is just relentless with insults. His the only person he's nice to is the fucking partner that he has. But to the lieutenant and all the deghosters, he walks in, he's like, "Oh, you guys are full of shit, bitches."
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, fucking relax, man. And there's also that one scene that really, really is, I think it stands out amongst everything else, is when they're all in the same room together. It's when they first enter the house. They're all in the same room, and it never shows the curtain, but then everybody is like, oh my God, something's behind the curtain. And then Brandon Cho walks to the window, and he's like, it's nothing. And then, it just ends, and it's like, wait a second, why didn't we see, were you just trying to make running time longer, Kevin Tenney?
That seems so padded.
This is the worst gag ever. We don't even see even shoes that are just placed under the curtain that are no one's in them. We don't even get any. We don't even see the fucking curtain. We just see Brandon Cho walk to the window and is like, "Fuck you guys, you're wrong, motherfuckers." Hey, Lieutenant, suck my dick. That's what the whole film's like. And it's just as much as I like Brandon Cho, he just needs to fucking tone it down a little bit.
Everyone's Googling fiercely for Brandon Cho. You're not going to find it. I don't know which actor it is. There's no pictures by the actors on IMDb. I don't know. I'm sorry. Otherwise, we'd get this actor's name right.
I'm just going with Brandon Cho.
Instead, we're just going to be horrifically racist and just name 2 Asian actors and splice their names together. We're just being those guys right now.
Totally. Sorry, everybody. For what it's worth, I'm not going to go see Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. You're so brave.
I know. Right?
Oh, man.
That's right. I do my part.
Put that on your LinkedIn page under special skills. Endorse you. A white man avoided whitewashing film. Congratulations. Let's give you a Pepsi commercial.
Yeah. Witchtrap. Back to Witchtrap.
No, I think we're done on Witchtrap.
Are we done? Are we done with Witchtrap?
The ghosters get to use the Ghostbuster machine, and it's really cool.
But Witchtrap looks great, as always. And if you're a fan of Kevin Tenney films, which I am, I think you will find some enjoyment out of this. And I'll definitely, when I kind of go through the Kevin Tenney flicks again, I'll definitely be giving this a rewatch. And I'm going to actually pretend it's a sequel.
Watch Pinocchio's Revenge.
To Witchboard, which is not. But I'll pretend it is. I mean, he might as well made it a sequel to frickin' Witchboard.
I hope he listens to this podcast and then tweets at you and is like, "Hey, fucko, it's not a sequel to Witchboard." That's all it says.
Yeah, they made fucking 2 other movies to Witchboard.
Anyway, the I don't know. I'm gonna stop. All right, let's move on.
Non-sequel to Witchboard. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move on into let's take a step into the back room. That segue is always gonna be bad.
It's only bad because you get so nervous saying back room.
I know.
It's a back room of a store where they sell pornographic films.
For those of you just joining the podcast and listening for the first time, I have some deep-rooted
you got a lot of that Christian guilt
issues still stuck in my system, and I keep debating going to therapy. However, where I live, there are no good therapists. I'd have to head more towards LA, and that's too long of a drive for good therapy. So I just keep it all and hide it all down and cry myself to sleep every night on my vagina-shaped pillow.
Oh, Jesus. I know originally for going into this back room, we were going to leave the Pikaramas for the end, but I'm going to...
Let's blaze through those now.
Yeah, I'm just going to go through them now. So there's a lot of them, and I just wanted to kind of touch on the titles of all of them, make sure everyone's familiar with them, and then let you know which one is my personal favorite. So first of all, you have Sherlock Holmes. I love a good sex pun. I think they're fantastic. They are what make the world go round. And currently, pun porn is really the only thing that's still making money. So it's kind of nice to see an older pun porn. There's Reunion. Reunion is... it's porn for those who really like reading Fabio novels and touching themselves. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. Love Champions and Rolling Desires, I think, are both, I don't want to say run-of-the-mill, because that's doing the films a disservice, but they're pretty similar to a lot of the titles that get released through the Picorama, so if those tickle your pickle, then these probably will too. So I like those ones, and then I think it's the previous month. No, I think we touched on the previous month. So yeah, those are the 4 Pikaramas. If I had to pick my favorite one, it would probably have to be Reunion. That's just me though. But I don't know. It depends on what you like. We get a lot of feedback on the horror and a lot of feedback on kind of the exploitation and cult cinema. None of you ever want to talk porn with us, so I don't know what you want. I don't know what to give you, but I'm a big fan of Reunion and Sherlock Holmes. I think of those two, they are kind of like sexy mysteries.
Sexy mysteries.
For lack of a better word. Like, yeah, super sexy mystery. Whereas Boiling Desires and Love Champions remind me kind of the release they did with Let's Get Physical and Body Girls. It's very, very similar to that. But they star Tobalina, so we've seen her before. She's lovely. Yeah, Reunion's super sweet. So that's what I got in the Pikaramas, guys. Did you watch any of them, Brad?
I didn't actually get to any of the Pikaramas. I got to kind of just the single discs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I usually tend to, like, take a night or two and just kind of go through all the Pikaramas. Sometimes I'll have friends come over and they're always really concerned. They're like, wait, what are you putting on? I'm like, you're welcome. Yeah, I don't know why more people don't buy the Pikaramas. I think they're super fun. And anytime I go to a convention, like, people, like, glaze over them, don't make eye contact. And I'm like, just pick up the goddamn porn. Like, pay for your pornography. I got in, like, this huge, heated argument, of course, on the internet, because I don't have any real friends, about piracy. And one of the points I made is that, you know, if you exclusively watch your porn through, like, tube sites or things like that, you know, that's, you're stealing from the artist. Like, unless it's them putting out, like, a trailer or, like, a clip to inspire you to buy something. Like, a lot of times people just straight up steal porn and put them on these tube sites. And they're like, well, you know, it's different. It's different. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not different. There are still actors. There are still directors. There are still writers, editors, people that have to be paid. And if you're stealing their shit or downloading it illegally, like, that's still fucking piracy. And pornography sort of sets the standard for a lot of things. Like, there's even the joke in Tropic Thunder where he's talking about, like, you know, DVD and Blu-ray, you know, took over as the medium because that's what pornography was using. So if everybody's stealing their pornography, then they start thinking it's okay to steal, like, their cinema, like, cinematic films. And it's just really fucked up how there's this weird double standard of, like, I'm going to stand on this soapbox and berate people for stealing movies or for, you know, sneaking into movie theaters, but I'm not paying for my porn. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, that's so hypocritical and stupid. I'm off my soapbox.
Off the soapbox. Continue. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. It just bothers me. So yeah, Screamcast listeners, talk to me about pornography. Talk to me about what you like. How can I better serve you by recommending things? Because if you don't tell me anything, I don't know what the fuck you want.
Damn, now I just got...
So, let me know what you want.
Now I just think you scared people away.
Tell me what gives you boners, damn it! No. But for real though, talk to me. You can DM me. It's fine. I won't tattle on you. But yeah. So, those are the Peak-A-Ramas. Let's talk about those standalone films, Brad, because I don't think Sean watched any of them because they gave him the creeps.
I watched Bob Chin's Love Slaves. I'm a big Bob Chin fan. I love
Same.
I love his take on kind of pornography because he really tries to think outside the box and really tries to he at least tries. That's what he does. I mean, sometimes we want porn where we just want to watch some people do it. And then sometimes we have people that want some stories. Honestly, when I'm watching this, since Vinegar Syndrome releases them in abundance like this, I tend to get a little burnt out on kind of the TNA and Dick and the Vajay.
The fucking for fucking.
Yeah, the fucking for fucking movies where, well, before I jump into Love Slaves, let's jump into A Place Beyond Shame, Seika's big breakout role.
God, I love her. She's so wonderful.
She's great. She's very pretty. But I mean, we have Place Beyond Shame that's 80 minutes, and I think maybe 70 minutes of it is actually fucking, which is fine. If you're into that sort of thing. But like I said, I'm kind of newer, and when I say that, I've been watching it for the past, maybe about 3 years, more actively. And I've always watched pornography, but as far as vintage pornography, that's something that was a little bit newer to me, just because I thought it was the same thing, just people fucking, and then realized stories are being told, and it's a lot of fun and different things. Most notably, Bob Chin changed my mind on a lot of that with like hot and saucy pizza girls. So,
which is my favorite pornography of all time.
Oh, mine too, by far. I love it to death.
Yeah, no question. It's perfect. It's a perfect pornography.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an hour of fucking jokes and storytelling, and then we have quickies, pretty much. And that's what I prefer. Is honestly like, oh, money shot. We're done. Let's get to the movie. But like A Place Beyond Shame, like we're watching Seika, she's great. She's very pretty. But also it's about, her going to her therapist and then explaining sexual things to him, and then it goes into the sex, and then it's just him banging her at the end. That's the big, reveal. And there's nothing to it. It's very, very boring, and it's just not for me. And then we have something like The Love Slaves, which is, another porno, more Bob Chin straight porno, but we kind of have this like crime drama that's happening with these kidnappers that are kidnapping these young women and making them sex slaves, but in a very tasteful way. Stop there. I will get to the end when I say tasteful ways, because then I eat my words at the end of this. And then, like, we have kind of this cop that's hunting these people down, and he's worried about his wife and stuff. And there's a big story to be told. And then we have some pretty good performances. We have some good music. We have some great mustaches and big sunglasses. Beastie Boys Sabotage. And it's okay. And then at the end of the film, you're like, oh, this is supposed to be a roughie. Like, nothing's really happening in this. It's just people doing it. There's this weird foursome with three, I'll say this, quote unquote, three dudes and one girl, but one of the dudes is a mannequin. So these dudes, like, they're making her airtight, but one of them is a mannequin. It's super weird.
Okay.
This is Screamcast After Dark, right? You can say whatever the fuck we want.
Hey,
we're in the back.
You gotta hit all the demographics.
So, that happened, but at the end of the film, there's a rape scene, which, you're thinking, oh, it's porn. Yeah, but there's like rough porn, but when you have kind of these more straightforward, pornography films from, like, we have that one Blue Ice where Ron Jeremy's going like super disgusting and it's like la la. But this, like, it's like a gang rape happens, and it's just very unsettling because you're like, wait a second, this kind of comes out of nowhere, and then you're like, oh shit, like, and then it's just like, this movie's super fucked up, like, because in films like stuff like Vigilante or something like that, when Robert Forster's family gets attacked and bad stuff happens to her, he's like, fuck this, and he kills everybody. It's the same thing. We're watching vigilante justice, but since it's a porno, we actually get to see that happen, and that's the weird part. Like, I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be off screen or something, but no, it just gets kind of hyper violent, and that was I kind of paused at that point. Yeah, and I was upsetting. Like, man, this is just not what I thought was going to happen. Like, I like kind of the rape revenge movies. It's fine. But, I also, like, I don't like to see it go to the extremes, and that's what it did. And that was a little shocking, but all in all, it's fine. It's not Bob Chin's greatest, but he at least tries to make this rape revenge crime drama. And that I can give him props for. So, there was that. What else do we have here, BJ, since you watched these? I'm trying to pull out my pile.
Alex Dorenzi's Babyface was a big one.
Yeah, this one was very, very highly anticipated amongst the porn dudes and kind of Vinegar Syndrome fans. I hear you about to speak, so I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I'm impossible to be quiet. I'm a heavy breather. So right off the bat, I like Alex Dorenzi a lot. I think that he's a weird dude. If you can get past the setup of the whole film, which is that a dude is pretty much just committing stat rape, and then trying to hide out from it by staying at like a male brothel. If you can get past that part of it, this movie's a lot of fun. The setup is kind of weird. It's kind of gross. But once you get to the male brothel, I think that it's super funny. And it's a nice change of pace. It's women, being in control of what they want and seeking out men for what they desire and, kind of taking control of that situation, which I really appreciated. You don't see that a lot. And it was interesting to do that. This movie's long as fuck. It is like almost 2 hours. So strap in. You're going to be there for a long time.
Or strap on.
But I don't know. It's real edgy, but it's also really funny at the same time. This is definitely one that I'll probably watch again and make it kind of a frequent watch the way I do with Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls. The only issue that I really have with it is kind of that weird setup and the length. The sex scenes are all really solid. None of them really feel out of place, except there's like one guy who's supposed to be young, but he doesn't look young at all. So that's the only real could you have found somebody like a little twinkier for this scene? But
well, he's probably 23, but like has a diet of like salami and Jack Daniels.
He has like this really bushy mustache, and it just makes him look super old. But otherwise, like, I don't know. I really like this one. I don't think that it's the best that Alex Dorenzi's done, but I think that this is like a really good example of his sort of style and flavor of pornography.
Well, yeah, he's one of the Bob Chin focuses more on stories, and then Alex Dorenzi thinks kind of more broad. Like he wants to make big movies. And that's kind of the life he led, and that's, he has kind of the more straightforward, smaller stuff, but he definitely tries to think outside the box and make it bigger. Very much like, God, who's the other guy that makes those big movies? Shit, I can't think. Never mind, I'm not going to stay on it. I'll think of it soon.
Oh, you're fine.
But anyways, yeah.
If anyone's into like erotic asphyxiation, there's a real interesting scene with cellophane wrap. I would not recommend trying it at home because the whole time I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh no, there is so many ways for that to backfire. I don't like that. But hey, you learn things when you watch porn. Learn them, try them. Tell us how they went.
Agreed.
That's all I got on that.
No, I like it too. I think you hit all the notes. It's especially kind of with Vinegar Syndrome's work, it's very pretty. And this is one of the more one of the more awaited titles. So, and then next up,
yeah, this one was definitely worth the wait. But people will be stoked on it.
Yeah. What else was there? Next up was, I'm trying to look through all this shit. There's so many.
China Girl was one of them. I don't know if you watched that one.
Annette Haven film.
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of shows Annette Haven in kind of full form. No pun intended. But more or less, she plays. I laughed at her name when they said it because then it reminded me of Hargrove from Never Too Young to Die.
Hardgrave?
Yeah, it's Hardgrave, but it's like Hardgrove from Never Too Young to Die. And she plays like this assassin type. It's a lot of fun because, I know a lot of people talk a lot of, stuff about pornography, and I honestly, I see your points. It's, people think it, it is. Today it's more or less degrading. Back then they were having a lot more fun. It was just drugs, that was involved. Now it's, totally different machine. But back in the day, these people were having great times and having fun what they're doing. And Annette Haven, she's just having a blast with this, and this is one of these films that is kind of that more espionage assassin film mixed in with a lot of sexy time. Personally, I like China Girl.
Yeah, this is like it's like a spy thriller that happens to have actual sex. Like if you pull those scenes out, the movie still works, and that's really, really rare to find. But yeah, it totally works. It's really interesting. I think some of the cinematography is actually really beautiful. I interrupted you with all of that, so I'm sorry. Continue with your point.
No. I just think it's it does work on its own level, very much like a Bob Chin film. Even the film that they released, Dracula Sucks, like there was an R-rated horror version of Dracula Sucks with the sex taken out, and it still works. And I think the same could work with China Girl. I think that would be a fun little project too, is to edit out sex scenes and pornos and see if they work.
Well, there are a couple that's starting to happen in modern pornography, like with a lot of the Axel Braun movies, because he's been getting so much praise for his costuming, especially. Like there's the big thing with like Silver Surfer or whatever, but it'll be an option on his DVDs to watch the films without pornography, which is so fascinating to me.
No, I agree. I've watched a couple of his films, and sometimes his superhero stuff is better than the mainstream superhero stuff. Yeah, he gets it more right.
Seriously,
than other people.
Yeah, that's a dude that's definitely inspired by a film like China Girl, or like this sort of
totally
time period of pornography. Like he gets it.
Would probably be a fun one to talk to about inspiration and stuff like that. Because I'm just kind of I'm kind of curious of how that works. Like, I got to interview Bob Chin a couple years ago, and I asked him some very personal questions in there. And he wanted, he went to film school. He went to UCLA, So he knew all the technical aspects, and you could tell he put that into his films. I mean, it's very easy to have money and be able to get some girls together, and I mean, it's not that hard to find the dudes and get them on your couch and film it. Very much what they do these days. If you look at, you see the name on the top of the DVD, you're going to see that same exact couch you saw in the other movie.
Oh, well, yeah, we shot the short Love is Dead at, the Burning Angel Studios, and we got to see how it works and how they have different artwork to make it look like different settings, but it's just, a rearrangement of furniture, which is really goddamn smart. That's a great way to make a living.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to make, a quick porno and make a quick buck. But, there's also that, I've said this before on the show, is that, right now we had storylines that had, quick scenes of sex, and now we just have these movies that are scenarios with, long sex scenes. Now, sex scenes are running 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. If you clock these things back in the 70s and 80s, sometimes they ran a minute to maybe not over 4 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes tops. And that's usually when there's more than 1 or 2 people in a scene. So you kind of get to see, right now, and pornos are running 3 to 4 hours, and 3 hours and 45 minutes is actually sex. Mm-hmm. And we're just getting, movies are compilations of scenes, no storylines. It's just one scene right after the other in the exact same room. So, it's really devolved, so it's nice to see people like Alex Braun. And I want to know if he's, inspired by people like Bob Chin and Alex Terenzi, and doing those films and actually trying, he wants to make movies still, but he also wants to make porno. And I think that's I think that's needed for people like me, because I want to see, good cinematography. I want to see, a decent storyline. So, but anyways, that's my rant. China Girl's great though. I really do like it. Annette Haven's really fun. It's a fun little spy movie, and it has enough sexy time to get you going.
I agree. I really like it. I mean, it has a little bit of the 60s yellow fever problematic nonsense in it, but it was the 60s. It was porn. What the fuck did you expect? So, otherwise, I like it. I like China Girl a lot. I think I like this better than China Silk, actually.
Oh, I didn't like China Silk at all. That was one of those movies that tried to make a longer movie, and it just ended up being just shot after shot of porno to me.
I liked China Silk, but I really like China Girl a lot. China Girl this is more my speed.
Very nice. And is there any more?
I think the last one was Blue Money, but I did not get to see that one.
Brad, you were telling me Blue Money was actually really good.
Yeah, Blue Money is... oh, shit! My Blu-rays went everywhere! Yeah, Blue Money is... it's made by pornographers, but more of kind of a straightforward story. Bob Chin, I believe, narrates the film. So basically, it's about pornographic filmmakers. But it's just about them having this like a legal thing going on, making pornos, and it's got some drama mixed in. It's got some it's very sleazy at times. I know that's it's a porno, it's going to be sleazy. There's a certain kind of technical aspect and aesthetic that makes a movie sleazy. And this one has it. Like a lot of pornos, they're just sweating. Doesn't mean it's sleazy. There's very weird storylines or, some very skeezy people. Ron Jeremy's not in it, so that's one less skeezy person you have to worry about. So, it's just, it's about, filmmaking, porno and making that money and getting caught up into shit that you don't want to. It's more or less a drama than anything. I didn't know this until we started talking about it. Apparently there is a bonus feature on here of the Affairs of Aphrodite, which I didn't know, which I didn't watch. There's another movie that that's on this, and it doesn't really say it. Just when we were looking at it, and I was trying to figure out the running time, because apparently this is the uncut version, and I've seen the cut version that's like 70 minutes. I think this is one of those ones that was on one of those Mill Creek sets too, and that's how I originally saw it. But yeah, it's definitely an upgrade. I like how Vinegar Syndrome's hitting all the Mill Creek Crown Royal titles and stuff like that. So definitely something.
Crown Royal.
There you go. Jack.
The drink.
Crown Royal Cokes.
Crown Pictures.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
Is there anything?
I think that was it, y'all.
I think we're good. Right.
We killed it.
Bam.
Our syndrome is so vinegary.
All right, well, that's going to do it for all the releases up till April from Vinegar Syndrome. They have, oh gosh, where'd the website go? Where'd it go? Hold on.
You're hecking up, man.
Here we go. Psycho Cop Returns is coming out very soon, as well as Double Exposure.
So excited.
And I believe Hot Flashes and Picorama of Ladies' Night and Her Wicked Ways. Yeah. So that's the April package right there. Yeah. Should be, that's coming out on April 25th. So if you haven't got your Vinegar Syndrome package ordered, you can do that now. They are doing the full package of all the flicks, including the Pono. But they also have, for people like me, they have just the standard titles, like the non-Ponos. So you can get Psycho Cop Returns and Double Exposure by themselves.
Now, Double Exposure is another Crown International film that Mill Creek released on a box set. So
nice.
They're killing it.
Yeah. Good stuff. And, of course, you can find all our stuff over at vinegarsyndrome.com and tell them we sent you. There should be links in the show notes to the April package.
If you guys are if anyone out there, I should say, is going to be at Cinema Wasteland in Strongsville, Vinegar Syndrome will have a table up there. I will be there on Saturday. Come find me. We'll chit-chat. I'll give you some movie recommendations at the table.
All right, and look for our Screamcast late night episode if you are a patron very soon. Our next one, Brad and I will be getting drunk and recording that in a couple days here. So keep checking back with your Patreon feed. If you would like to support the show, we have a few options over at patreon.com/scream_cast. There's a $1, $3, and $5 option. If we're trying to get to a goal of $100 a month, if we do that, we will unlock the Screamcast late night to the $3 listeners. And then if we hit our next goal, unlock that to the $1 a month patrons. And then we'll kind of revamp and add some more stuff. And as always, the only ones contributing to Screamcast late night are the $5 patrons. So check that out there. That's patreon.com/scream_cast. Of course, all the links to all our social media is over at thescreamcast.com in the right-hand side of the webpage. And please check out and give some love to our sponsors, most notably grindhousevideo.com, Coffee Shop of Horrors. Check out Kevin Spencer, who designed all the artwork. Check out his artwork over at inkspatters.com. And as always, huge thank you to Wolfmen of Mars for letting us use their music in our episodes. And, of course, Vinegar Syndrome for letting us talk about their flicks and giving us movies to review. I think that's going to do it for this week's show, everybody. Yeah. Did I miss it? Did I miss anything?
No,
Brad
I think you did
and BJ?
well. buy everything from.
That was the smoothest transition. Like, call you Land O'Lakes because that was smooth as butter.
All right, we'll talk to all of you guys next time. Hey, all of you should watch Demon Seed because I think we'll be talking about that soon, and we got some other goodies lined up for that show. So until then, talk to all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.